Welcome back to Live on Lakeside. I'm Larry Macon Jr. And now it's time to reveal this week's Everyday Champion. Today I would like to introduce to you Romona Robinson. She's been one of our city's top news anchors, journalists, and TV personalities. However, now she's also a motivational speaker and author. She travels all over, inspiring people of all ages from all walks of life. Welcome to the show, Romona.
Oh, so good to be here, Larry.
So good
to see you.
Thank you so much. And you have this new book out, Your Voice is Your Power. Tell us about this book.
Well, Your Voice is Your Power basically was born out of my first book, my memoir, A Dirt Road to Somewhere. And it was born out of conversations I had with mostly women, some men, who wanted to know first of all, they were so surprised by my story and all the obstacles and roadblocks I faced trying to become a television journalist. And they mainly had two questions. How are you able to listen to God's voice? How do you hear God's voice? And number two, how do you push past the fear that sometimes can be debilitating? You feel stuck, your fear of failure. And so I try to answer those questions in this new book.
Yeah, you address a lot of things like fear, anxiety, and depression. Is that something that people are dealing with these days that you're noticing?
Oh, anxiety and depression is at an all-time high, especially among our young girls. A lot of them are suffering from perfection and rejection and trying to keep up with the images they see on social media. So I address those things. I have a chapter in the book that deals specifically with social media trolls who would come after me and how I dealt with that. And also the feeling of youngsters not measuring up. What can you do? What are some of the things? And I also talk about in the book a young girl. Her parents asked me to talk to her because she suddenly started exhibiting this risque behavior, wearing really short dresses and, low-cut tops. And when I talked to her and asked her, why are you doing this all of a sudden? What's happening? Because I think they thought it was drugs or, and she said basically she felt like she didn't measure up at school. All of her friends who were in sophomores and in 11th grade, they had boyfriends or they had boys that were interested. None of the boys were interested in her, and she felt less attractive. So she thought, if I wear clothing like this, I'll get some attention. So it's just, it's hard to tell, especially kids, things will get better. Wait on the Lord, pray. They wanted here, now, right now. Tell me something concrete I can do now. So I address those things in the book.
Well, I think you are very much needed in our community to help, especially our young women. So I just want to let you know I appreciate all that you're doing and spreading this word and really, again, saying that your voice is your power. Now, I know there's a lot of people that want to see you and get you to sign a book and get a book. So tell us how we can get that book and where we can possibly meet you.
Well, you can go to my website, first of all, RomonaRobinson.com. And you have to spell my name R-O-M-O, because if you put Ramona, R-A, you're going to get a psychic. And I don't think you want that. Or maybe you do. Maybe some people do. But it's R-O-M-O-N-A, RomonaRobinson.com. And just click on the events page and you'll see where I'll be. But I am so excited for the new book. This coming Saturday, September 28th, from noon until 2 p.m., I will be at Mount Zion Church of Oakwood Village. And I'll have a little reception. I'll do a little speech. So it's really quick. It's a Saturday. Come on out. And I should mention, Larry, that a portion of the proceeds of my books go back to children's charities that I'm passionate about. And so I've given back to Coach Sam's Inner Circle. So many organizations that you might recognize. The Gathering Place, it's not a children's charity, but I love them. I love the work they do. And also I've teamed up with Lily Pulitzer of Legacy Village. And we're giving back to the Jimmy Malone Scholarship and also Esperanza, two other organizations that benefit children. And it's just, I think this book is timely because so many people are living scared right now. A third of Americans say they are dissatisfied with their lives. That's 100 million people.
So it's right on time, Ramona. And I appreciate the work that you're doing. And I want to tell you, you're truly an everyday champion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I want to also thank you, the faithful Live on Lakeside and Everyday Champion viewers, for tuning in. But before I go, I always like to leave you something to think about. Ignore your critics. You know, there was a man who had some challenges. He had some setbacks in his life, but after a few years, he fixed all of them and became very successful and did a lot of good in his life. However, the people around him would never let him forget what he did in his past. You know, those people are called critics. No matter what you do, you remember some people, you got to remember that some people are not going to be for you, even if you change. Think about it. You can't meet all their demands, and at the end of the day, you can't do everything that they ask you to do. They would still try to find something wrong with you, but you can learn to save a lot of heartache and pain by simply learning to ignore those voices. You don't need people's approval. You don't need to have them cheering you on all the time. You just need to stay on the right road and let your work speak for you. You know, people might try to take you down, but your work and your integrity will always build you back up. So keep focused on your future and don't let the critics stop your progress. Well, that's my encouraging word for you this week, and I'm glad you tuned in to see who's doing some great things in our community. Remember to visit my website at LarryMaconJr.com or add me to Facebook or your Instagram as I post daily inspiration to help you throughout your day. I speak every week, and you can find out where by going to mzov.org. Be sure to contact me and let me know who you think should be next week's Everyday Champion. There's good people doing some great things, and I'm glad I get to share that with you every single week. We're live on Lakeside, and we'll be right back.